it says I'm live. The computer says that I am live. It says that everything is working. Just a minute, let me say hi to Dave here. Dave and Todd coming to help out. We'll be starting in 23 seconds once I do a little audio check here. Sounds like everything's working. All of the indicator lights on my computer are green. That means everything is working well. We'll start in about, I guess, now. Well, hello and welcome to this live English lesson. This is a lesson where we talk about the English language. All of you are learning the English language. So this is an English lesson where I try to answer as many questions as I can that you give to me. You can submit a question using the form that will be linked in the chat, either by Nightbot, hit my microphone by accident there, or by Dave or Todd. It's also, I think, just as of now in the description below, there's a link there. I look forward to seeing your questions. It's always fun to answer them. You might be wondering why I'm not outside. Well, it is beginning to look a lot like Christmas outside. If you look out there, you can see there is just a little bit of snow on the ground, just a tiny bit of snow. We are in for a snowstorm today. We're supposed to get up to 10 centimeters of snow. So I guess 5, about this much snow possibly. We'll have to see if that arrives. We'll have to see if that ends up happening. Anyways, before we get started, once again, please use the chat to have fun English conversations with each other. I do want to say hi to Sean from Free 99 English, Rod, the English teacher. Let me scroll back, say hi. I want to say hi to Judith and Katerina and Freddie Wolf, Lemon Cute, Audie, Ario, Anuat. Let me scroll back a bit more and see who else is here. Bunch of people. Eduardo is here. Lemon Cute is here. A lot of familiar names. Welcome to all of you. Let me jump to the questions and see if there are questions ready to go. So we have here from Franco, the question, basically what I'm saying in that situation is that it is fairly easy to do and anyone with a little bit of instruction is able to do it. I think that I need to check on whether the live stream has frozen. It looked like the screen just flashed. It's working for me. Now it looks like it's okay. If I could get Todd and Dave just to let me know. It seems to me like everything is working now. But for a moment there, my screen went black and then it came back again. So let me get the next question on the screen and I will see. Todd says there was a long buffer. Dave says it froze for a bit, but it seems okay again. So thanks. I do see on my screen that I had a few packets lost. So we'll keep going. CryptoPal, what is fluency in English speaking? So there are a number of different kinds of fluency. For me, fluency is when you have a good score in your speaking, your reading, your writing, and your listening, where all 4 skills are at a high level. There is also conversational fluency, where you're able to have English conversations really well, but it might be a challenge for you to have to do a writing assignment or to do listening practice. But definitely fluency would mean the ability to function well in the English language, to be able to go through a day, like a day of work or a day of school, and function in English for the whole day, use English for the whole day. From Yaroslav here. Morning, Teacher Bob. Hope you're doing well. Do the series The Big Bang Theory or House of Cards, are they popular to watch among Canadians? Thank you. Take care. Yes, I think so. I have watched The Big Bang Theory. I think I watched most of The Big Bang Theory. I have not watched House of Cards, though. I know my brothers and sisters have watched it. I think at least my brother and one sister have. And they have, should we go and watch the cat run from the house to the barn? There we go. They have told me that House of Cards is a very good series, but I have not watched it. Let's see here. From Mike, we have, hi Bob, could you define these? To open a can of whoop ass on somebody, bada bing, bada boom, and a dirtbag. So bada bing, bada boom, it's not a phrase I'm familiar with. I've heard it on TV. I think there's a cooking show where one of the chefs uses that. It just means like, wow, look at that, or an expression of excitement. Not very common in English. To open a can of whoop ass on someone means to get into a fight with them or to be aggressive with them. It's a very informal term that you would most likely hear on a TV show where people are fighting with each other. And a dirtbag is just someone who does illegal things or it would be the opposite of an honest person. It would be someone who lies a lot, someone who is not very kind. From Tomas, what does the munchies mean? The munchies are something people get when they're really, really hungry. So maybe it's evening and you're watching a TV show. You've already had supper, but it's an hour or two later and you're feeling a little bit hungry. We would say, oh, I have the munchies. Maybe I'll go get some chips. By the way, you should know the munchies is also used to refer to when someone feels hungry after doing something like smoking marijuana. So you should know that as well, that it is a term used in that situation. Let me go to RiverCam and let me just do a complete check here of make sure all systems are go. Looks like it. Looks like everything is working well. Let's go. Andre says, hello, please teach me other ways to say, go ahead, put your keys on the table. Please use different verbs. Don't use put. Have a nice day. You could say, go ahead, set your keys on the table. Go ahead, you can place your keys on the table. Although that sounds really formal. Like if someone came in, you could say, you could place your keys on the table. It sounds really, it's not how we would say it. I know you don't want to say, put your keys on the table, but that is the verb we would use. You can put your keys on the table. You can set your keys on the table. So put and set are a little bit interchangeable. India says, where do you get your images? Please name some names. So when I do my lessons like yesterday, when I did a lesson on verbs that you can use to describe things, I get my images from Pixabay, Pexels. I get them from websites where they have free images that you're allowed to use. And I also get images from a place called Storyblocks where I pay a subscription and I'm allowed to use them. Let's see here. Next question. Let's see if this fits here. Renata. Hi, Bob. What's the difference between hint and hunch? That always bewilders me. Thank you in advance, sir. You're an awesome human being. Have a wonderful weekend. So a hint is like a clue or a little piece of information. Like if a student's writing a test and they don't know how to answer a question, I might give them a hint. So I might tell them a small part of the answer in order for them to guess the rest of it. A hunch is when you have a feeling that something is true. Like maybe you know a couple that are dating and they've been dating for 3 years and you have a hunch they might get engaged at Christmas. You have a feeling. You don't know if it's true, but you have a hunch that it might happen. Let's see here. From Hiya. Please show me example sentences with go after. Tell me as many daily expressions as possible. Well, sometimes if you know that a place is hiring people, you need to go after the job. You need to apply. You need to give them a phone call. You need to basically do things in order to make sure they're aware you want the job and hopefully get an interview. You have to go after it. Sometimes when you look at a competition like American Idol, people need to go after it. They need to work really hard and do their best in order to get the prize, in order to win. Let's see here. Let me read the next question from Marion. Bob, I have a question. Let's get to it is like let's do it, right? Yes. So if I was working on something with someone else, and if we were about to start, I could say something like, well, let's get to it, or, well, let's do it, or, well, let's get going. All of those mean basically let's get started. So definitely, let's get to it. That's in a song, isn't it? Isn't there a song where they say, let's get to it? From YouTuber. Can you get a copyright claim for uploading less than 5 seconds long sound effect? So if you use music or sound effects that someone else has the copyright to, you will get a copyright claim. So yes, YouTuber, you need to use all of your own video and all of your own sound and music. If you are using the music to teach something, you might get away with it, but I think you'll still get a copyright claim. Arath says, how do I use the word though? I've seen there are many ways to use it. So it's very difficult to explain the word though in a live stream. But I will say this, I need to make a lesson on it, don't I? Because even though it's hard to explain, I do need to give you some example sentences though. So there was a couple there. I used even though and then though at the end. I have promised many times to make a lesson with the word though. I should do that sometime soon. Hi, Bob. Marriage versus wedding. So a marriage is the event where two people get married, but it also describes the life they live together once they are married. Okay, so Jen and I have a really good marriage. On the day of our marriage, Jen looked beautiful. Wedding, though, is only the day where someone gets married, the event of getting married. You go to a wedding, you talk about the wedding that you had. So a wedding is just the event, the day where you get married. Marriage is a much broader term, okay? Because you can say, I'm going to the marriage of my niece. I'm going to the marriage of my niece, but you would usually say, I'm going to the wedding. But it would still be correct to say marriage in that situation. Let's see here. I should give you guys something to look at while I read the next question because it's a bit long. Let me see if I can get this one answered. Ayan says, hi Bob, is this a correct sentence? It was captured just after getting back home from the party and then sitting curled up on the sofa between some fun posing shots. So we do have to add a word there. It was captured just after getting back home from the party and then sitting curled up on the sofa between some fun posing shots. So that one word makes that correct for you. Hey, I do want to say hi to the 220 people who are watching. Thanks for being here. If you're new here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button. I know some of you are wondering what my schedule will be like during Christmas. I will be having a normal week coming up. I have a week of work, normal week of YouTube. I am doing a live lesson next Friday. But after next Friday, I will probably not do a live stream for 2 weeks. I'm going to take 2 weeks off, but I will sporadically still put out videos. So you will still have some videos coming from me. Next question here. So it's getting a little warmer outside, actually. You can't see it, but I think the snow is turning to rain. That's a little bit sad. Farah, what does it mean? I feel defeated. Have a great weekend, the wisest Bob. In any situation where you are not successful, anytime where you try something and you fail, you can say, I feel defeated. Maybe you had an argument with someone at work, and after the argument, you feel like you lost the argument. You could say, I feel defeated. So any situation where you are not successful, maybe you take an English test and you don't get a good grade. You could say, oh, I feel defeated. I worked so hard to try and pass this test. I feel defeated. Let's see here. Azam says, I visited Niagara Falls, US from the Canada side, but because I didn't have both visa at the same time, couldn't cross the bridge. Have you ever crossed the border by walking? No, I haven't, but it's been a long time since I've been to the United States. Just when I think things are getting better in the world, they take a turn for the worse. So we'll see. At some point, I hope to go to Niagara Falls and walk across the bridge and see it from the American side, which is really beautiful as well. Let's see here. From Has, please show me how to pronounce rejuvenate, satin, perception, and close. So rejuvenate, when you put lots of lotion on your skin to try and look young again, we say the lotion rejuvenates your skin. It makes it look young again. Satin is a really nice, smooth fabric. Perception is how you see things. And then close. We actually don't worry about the TH. It sounds the same as closing a door. Like I close the door, I wear clothes. Okay. So you don't have to worry too much about it. Let's see. Yeah, I'll answer this one from Eduardo. Sorry. Hey, Bob, could you explain, because you can't kick a story in the nuts. The subtitles say you have great stories. I don't know if it's rude to use it. So in the subtitles, they've put like a nicer sentence, because to kick someone in the nuts is to kick a guy, for lack of a better word, to kick someone between the legs, if you know what I mean. To kick a guy somewhere where it hurts a lot. That's what that phrase means. And it is considered kind of rude to use that phrase. You wouldn't use that phrase at work or something like that. So kind of a funny phrase. Claudia. Hi, Teacher Bob. Not a question, but a suggestion today. What do you think of a lesson in which you compare formal and informal words with the same meaning? It'll be so helpful. So I can do this. The tricky part with English is that we have some formal ways of saying things, but we almost always use informal ways of saying things. So I'm a teacher at a high school. I actually use a lot of very informal English. And so it becomes hard for an English native speaker to know exactly what's formal and what's informal. There's no real rules about which is formal and which is informal. And then even slang, which is very informal, can eventually become part of everyday speech. Even as a teacher, I use slang sometimes. So very, very tricky, very, very difficult. I will try though. It's a great suggestion for sure. Natalia, good morning, Bob. I hope you are doing well. Please, could you explain the difference between the words, going to add some thes there, wet and soggy with some examples. Big hello from Serbia. When something's wet, it means it has water on it. If I spill this water on my shirt will be wet. But when something made out of paper usually gets really wet, we would also say it's soggy. Soggy is a description for something that's wet in a certain way. So if you have a newspaper that's laying in a puddle, we would say the newspaper's all soggy, okay? So it's kind of like it's wet, but it's also falling apart a little bit. That would be the best way to describe it. The difference between the two. Let's see here. A quiz from Judith. How do you call a CD and a floppy? A disc? Why do you choose A or B? So disc and disc with a C or K are pronounced the same way. So we have a floppy disk, or a CD is also a disc, a compact disc. Whether it is spelled with a C or a K, we say them exactly the same way, okay? Disc and disc, they're exactly the same word. Which word would I choose? I always choose the one with a C when I'm talking about a CD. Oh, I see what the question is. Yeah, I say compact disc and I use a C. When I say floppy disk, I use a K, and I don't know why. It's just how I learned those phrases, slightly different. Great question, Judith. Really cool. Lemon says, hi, Bob. Have a great day. I watched the previous video on your second channel, and I heard about the epidemic situation there. Hope everything is fine in your country. Yeah, I think you are all experiencing the same thing. Every day there's something on the news where they say something's closed. It feels a little bit like the beginning of the pandemic again, so we'll have to see. how things go. Hey, I see American English with this guy in the chat. Great guy, Brent, saying, have a great day. I need to go. Have a good day, Brent. Have a nice Saturday. Let's see here. Paula. Hi, Bob. How are you doing? What is the difference between the others and the other ones, please? You know, I have a blue shirt, but the others are wearing red shirts. I have a blue shirt, but the other ones. When you say other ones, you're being a little more specific. And it's a very fine difference, right? Most of the teachers are wearing blue shirts, but the other ones are wearing red shirts. So you're kind of talking about teachers. Most of the teachers are wearing blue shirts, but the others, it doesn't specify it's a teacher anymore. So I think the second one is just a little more specific. Let's see here. Orzio says, Hola, Mr. Bob. Question. I was watching Interactive English Channel Live about American culture. Mr. West asked us, what do Americans love? And my answer, Japan. Americans definitely like to travel. And I would say Japan's probably one of the top 5 countries that North Americans want to visit. So it does not surprise me that that was the answer. Let's see here. Bobby Tote. What kind of breed is your dog? It's too bad Oscar's not outside right now. You could see him. Oscar is part golden retriever and part German Shepherd and part Whippet, I think. We're not 100% sure. He's a cute dog. That's what kind of dog he is. Ernesto says, it's Robert Alomar. Is Robert Alomar the best second baseman ever of the Toronto Blue Jays? I don't want to get into too many sports comparisons. I do know that Roberto Alomar was a great player, and I think many, many people thought he was amazing. That's how I will answer that question. From Guilherme. Salut, Teacher Bob. Do you think it's possible to learn 2 languages at the same time? I wish you a great day. So this question comes up every once in a while, and I usually answer it by saying this. I am not capable of learning 2 languages at the same time. It just isn't possible. I know there are some amazingly smart people in the world that are able to learn 2 or 3 languages at the same time. For me, if I started learning a 3rd language, I would need to stop practicing learning French because I think it would get all mixed up in my head. So it definitely depends on the person. I think some people can do an amazing job, but not me. Definitely not. Let's see here. Next question from Sani. Good morning, Bob. Could you explain these, please? Bottom line, front line, guideline. So the bottom line is whether a company is making money or not. When you add up all the money your company has made, you have the bottom line. Let's get an official definition of bottom line. Let's see here. The final total of an account or balance sheet for a business. So there you go. The front line is simply in a war, people who are right where the battle is happening. That's the front line. And then you can be in the front line in other things as well, but generally it's a term we use during war. And then a guideline can be a rule, or it can actually be a line on a paper if you're drawing. But usually a guideline is something like, when you swim in the pool, you should plug your nose when you jump in. I don't know. I can't think of a guideline off the top of my head. Oleg, what's the difference between diminish and reduce? Thanks in advance. When something diminishes, it slowly goes away. And it usually happens on its own. When something is reduced, someone is making it happen and it's slowly going away. So sometimes the amount of money you make is diminished, which means it goes down. And sometimes you can reduce the amount of exercise you do, so you do less of it. Let's see here. I see people in the chat saying, I don't know exactly what time you are, but I just want to say good morning from Anne Nagok. Thank you very much. Areth says, I appreciate that you answered my question. Thank you for being so humble and an amazing teacher. And then Christopher has given a super chat. Happy holidays. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for that. Let's see here. Let's go to Mohammed Ali says, hi, Bob teacher. Hi, teacher Bob. Let's flip it. Can you answer me, what is the best book to learn English, and are 5 words enough? The best book to learn English would be a lot of different books. Start with books that are simple and work your way up to books that are more complex. Just giving one book is probably not going to do it. And are 5 words enough? 5,000 words is getting close. I'm not sure if by 5 words, 5 words obviously is not enough, but 5,000 words would be a good start if you are learning a language. Let's see here. Bow Bow. Hi, Mr. Bob. Hope you are doing well. Going to add the word are. Can you teach me how can we use grammar in speaking? I can't remember grammar when I speak. Thank you and have a nice day. So grammar is a pretty broad term, but I can give you a few pointers, a few hints for how to practice verb tenses. If you try to say something like this, yesterday I went for a walk, right now I am walking, tomorrow I will go for a walk. When you say yesterday, right now, and tomorrow, it forces you to practice different verb tenses. So try that at first. The other thing I would say is make sure you're getting lots of input. Do a lot of listening and a lot of reading so that you can see the grammar forms in actual English writing and in actual English songs and podcasts and those kinds of things. Let's see here. Badio, how to use the following words: sacrifice, onward, vigorous. Also, can you make some news-related lessons? So when you sacrifice something, it means you give it up. Sometimes when people have children, one person will sacrifice their job in order to stay home and take care of the kids. So basically, when you sacrifice, you stop doing something in order to do something else. Onward is simply a word that means let's move forward. Like in my class, I might say, okay, we're done this lesson, so onward, let's start the next lesson. It's just a word indicating we're about to move to the next thing. And vigorous is whenever you do something really well. When you sprint, you are running vigorously. Okay, so you're doing it at a very fast and high level. Let's see here. Thank you, Bob. Love you. Says, how can I'm going to put the word use. How can I use the word affectionate correctly? Well, grandparents are usually affectionate. Sometimes when you have a cat and the cat likes to sit on you, you say the cat is affectionate. Dogs are very affectionate as well. So it simply means demonstrating that you like or love someone or something a lot. Usually a person, yes, for sure. Shashi says, how to improve English in less time. Well, this is a tricky one because my belief is that learning a language is a challenging and difficult thing, and you do need to spend time at it. I don't think you can make it go faster. What you can do, though, is be very strategic about how you study. And my recommendation is always to study for an hour a day, 4 to 6 days a week. You should probably take a day off and focus on reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Spend some time learning new vocabulary and a little bit of time studying your grammar. If you only have 30 minutes a day, that's okay as well. But certainly trying to speed things up, I'm not sure always works. I'm not sure that's the best thing to do. Let's see here. Next question. From Larissa, hi Bob, what's the difference between problem, trouble, and issue? Thank you very much. So we do use these words somewhat interchangeably. I have an issue with my car. I have a problem with my car. I'm having trouble with my car. All of those sentences would be common and mean the same thing. But generally, a problem would be something where something isn't working the way it's supposed to, and you have to solve the problem, okay? Trouble can be anything like, he got in trouble at school. I'm having trouble with my computer. It just describes a situation where it isn't going the way it should. And then an issue is a little more formal, like I'm having an issue with my car. It sounds very formal to me, but it would mean the same thing. From Amir, good morning. We're going to add an O. Good morning, Teacher Bob. Can you pronounce these words? I'll just fix that. Can you pronounce these words? Thought, third, and 30. I have problems with TH, the TH sound. Thanks in advance. Well, I just did, I'll put a link in the chat. I think I have that lined up. I just did a video this past week where I created some tongue twisters, phrases that are really hard to say. And I made one of the 5 was to help practice the TH sound. I think it was they threw 3 things at the thieves. And it's just designed so that you can say it a few times throughout the week to practice those sounds. But your words, thought, third, and 30. So I thought that he came in third, or I thought he was 30, but he's 32. So there's some example sentences for you to look at. Hey, let's go to RiverCam. Let's do a little switch here to members only chat mode. By the way, members only chat mode happens during every live lesson. During members only chat mode, members can ask a question directly in the chat. If you want to know what membership is, there is a join button below or to the side. Somewhere there's a button that says join. If you click it, it will explain a little bit about what being a member means. I'm going to continue answering questions from everyone while I wait for a few member questions to pop up. First question is from Marcel. Hey, Teacher Bob, one quick question. How does one use the word galore in a sentence? Take care. Well, there were birds galore outside when I went for my walk. It simply means there were a lot of birds. There were people galore at the mall. It means that there were a lot of people at the mall. Let's get a formal definition of galore. In abundance, there were prizes galore at the party for everyone. That must have been a nice party. Hey, Julia says, hey, hi, Teacher Bob. Here is the sentence. The crowd was hooting, hollering, and yelling. What is the difference between these words? Well, hooting is when you're like, hoot, hoot. Like you make a sound kind of like hooting. And then hollering and yelling are the same. They're just like, ooh, boo. You know, maybe they're really mad about something. But hooting, hollering, and yelling would mean that the crowd is probably annoyed or angry. Kaiseta, dear Teacher Bob, how to pronounce the word clothes? Thank you. I'm wearing clothes right now. We pronounce it without really saying the TH. Okay, I'm wearing clothes. I need to wash my clothes. My nose is itchy today. I don't know why. The air in our house is very dry because it's winter. So from the chat again, Natalia Belgrade, hi Bob, do you have Christmas mood? Wish you and your family all the best. So because it's snowing a little bit, I'm a little more in the Christmas, I have a little more Christmas spirit today, but I've been worried. Julia says, I am first. You were definitely the first one with a question. Betty Lou says, hi, the cutest Teacher Bob. Christmas is just around the corner. Have you received any gifts? No, but I jokingly said to Sean from Free 99 English in the chat earlier that the Amazon delivery truck will be coming a few times over the next little while. Freddie Wolf says, hi Bob, je vais poser une question entre les phrases. I'd like to ask you a question between the phrases, I don't have any cars and I haven't any cars. Which of them is the best to use or the correct one to use? Merci beaucoup. Bon weekend à toi. So I would probably say, I don't have any cars. But the more common phrase might just be to say, I don't have a car. Can you drive to the party? I don't have a car. So your phrases are correct. I don't have any cars and I haven't any cars. Like they're grammatically correct, but the usage would, in this situation, if someone said, Bob, can you drive? Can I ride with you to the party? I could say, I don't have a car. That would be the way to say it. Betty Lou says, what was the best gift you ever received? Stay hydrated. The best gift I ever received was the love of my parents. That's sorry. And I'm still waiting for peace on earth. That would be the best gift ever. Rod says, I really love that. They threw 3 things at the thieves. Have a great weekend. I hope you and everybody else here can have candy galore on Christmas Day. Yes, that is a great use of the word, Rod. And that was a fun phrase to come up with. By the way, the tongue twister videos, not a lot of people watch them, but I really like making them so I usually make one a year. I have 2 tongue twister videos out, by the way. Let's see here. Julia, thanks so much. Sound effects are great. Lolly says, bonjour, Bob. Keep me informed, keep me posted, and let me know. Are these sentences synonyms? Merci. Yes, pretty much. Like, keep me informed, let me know, keep me in the loop, keep me posted. All of those would mean give me information whenever you get information. Let's see. Kai said, I like how you were hooting and yelling. Yes. Anuat says, hi, Teacher Bob. Do you use used to and would interchangeably when talking about past habits? Thanks. Yes. When I was young, I would always be on time for class. When I was young, I used to be on time for class. When I was a kid, I would play hide and seek with my cousins and my brothers and sisters. When I was a kid, I used to play. So yes, you can use those interchangeably. They mean the same. Norma, I have no question, dear Teacher Bob. I only want to thank you for another year. You are helping us to improve English. No problem. It's almost 5 years. On January, I don't know, at the beginning of January, it will be 5 years. Crazy. Sita, hey, Mr. Bob, no question today. I'm here just to thank you for your great work. I'm sure you have no idea about how much you've been helping me along these years. I'm watching your videos since 2018. Very cool, Sita. Thank you for being around for so long, and I'm glad that I could help you. Let's see here. Thanks so much, dear teacher. No problem. Merci, Bob. Hi, Sita. Hey, Julia. Freddie Wolf. Hi, Bob. It's me again. C'est moi encore. Is that how I would say it in French? C'est moi. Would you please explain the difference between the phrasal verbs find out and figure out? Thanks a lot. By the way, you speak French well. Merci beaucoup. So find out and figure out are used interchangeably now, but usually figure out involves like solving something. Like I need to figure out why. So there was money. Let me see here. I need to figure out. Trying to think of something to figure out. A math problem is something you figure out. If there's money missing from your bank account, you need to figure out what happened to it. So for me, figure out always involves a problem. Find out can simply mean to find information. You know, I need to find out if school will be open after Christmas break. Audie the Thai, hi Teacher Bob, no question today. Just would like to know, was black cat that I saw, she was running outside your home, is your cat? And between I'm watching my black cat, she's beside me too. Yes, that is one of our cats. We have what are called farm cats. So they live outside, even in the winter. They have lots of hair and they live in the barn, so they are warm. And we do feed them extra food in the winter to help them stay warm. But yes, that was one of our cats. I don't know what its name is. Let's see here. Natalia, I have a problem with pronunciation. Oh, the word weather. Please give me advice how I can fix it. Weather. So the weather today is great. So what's tricky is you need to make the W sound, w, 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 and you need to make the TH sound, th, weather. And switching from w to th can be very hard. Weather. So try to separate those two sounds, we, and then there, weather. That's the best advice I could give. Hopefully that helps. Betty Lou, hi, the cutest Teacher Bob. Do you have any gift ideas for Christmas? I have really no ideas. I don't. That's tricky because you need to know the person in order to get them a good gift. Betty Lou, hi, the cutest Teacher Bob. What are your New Year's resolutions? I don't have any yet, except that I haven't been walking as often as I should be. I'm averaging about 3 days a week of walking. Normally, I try to walk 5 days a week. 4 is okay, but I've been walking 3 days a week. So I guess that will be one of my New Year's resolutions, will be to try and walk a bit more. Try to get that extra day or two in as I go through my week. And then the normal ones, try to eat healthier and try to be a nicer person. Those kinds of things. That's really about it. Hey, let's go back to the question form. If any members still have 1 or 2 questions, just ask them in the chat. I will try to keep an eye on that. Let's see here. Kismo. Hi, Teacher Bob. Will you make a live lesson next week? If not, Merry Christmas in advance. Cheers. So there will be a new video on Tuesday. It's about Christmas. I tried to find some Christmas phrases that you don't know. I know there's a lot of lessons on Christmas. This one, you'll probably learn a few things you didn't know. Next Friday, I am planning to do a live stream on December 24th. It might be about Christmas. We'll see. And then I'm going to take a bit of a break. There will be some videos that come out for the next 2 weeks after that, but I will probably take a bit of a break from live streaming. Let's see here. Tam, congratulations versus congratulations. Thanks a lot, Bob. We almost always say congratulations. Like, congratulations, you graduated from school. I believe congratulations are in order. Good job. I hear you got a promotion. So congratulations is almost always with an S. This is going to be challenging for me. So from Hafiez, hello, Bob. How do you pronounce quay, cajole, facetious, and the infamous Worcestershire? I can't pronounce Worcestershire. It's very difficult. Definitions too would be great. So let's get to the first one first. So basically that version, sometimes people think it's refers to. So I pronounced the first one wrong. I think it's supposed to be pronounced key, but I actually say quay. So you can check why that is. Maybe I was taught incorrectly, but to me, it's something along a lake or an ocean. When you cajole someone, it means to try and convince them of something. Let's get the official definition. To try and persuade someone to do something by sustained conversation with them. Hey, Betty Lou, thank you so much for the Our Santa Bob Merry Christmas little chat there. Thank you for being a member for so long, and thank you for that. Merry Christmas. When you're being facetious, it means you're saying things just to be funny or to be annoying. So you treat serious issues with inappropriate humor. There you go. And then Worcestershire. Let me look up the pronunciation of that. We even have some in our fridge. We use it occasionally with beef. Let's see here. Basically, a pungent sauce. I want to find a pronunciation, though, just to listen. Worcestershire. Yeah, I say it wrong. Completely wrong. Even native English speakers say some words completely wrong. Let's see here. Tatiana says, let's get a bit of the outdoors on here. Hello, dear teacher. How to make children clean their room or do something about the house? How can they answer back and how to react to their answering back? Thank you. Well, one thing you can do in this day and age is you can say, we're going to turn off the Wi-Fi. We're going to turn off the internet if you don't clean your room or if you don't help do the dishes. But normally it's better to try and encourage them to do it. Try to make it fun. When we do dishes, we often have music playing and everyone chooses a song, and that sometimes helps it doesn't necessarily make it fun, but it makes the time go a little quicker, I think. That would be my recommendation. Try to make it fun if you can, but that's kind of hard to do. Evgeny says, hello, Mr. Bob. Would you mind to explain to me one thing? Is it true that Elizabeth II also is the Queen of Canada? Yeah, so it's interesting. Queen of Canada. Like, we recognize the monarchy. Let's see here. Is the Queen of Canada? Like, we recognize her as the monarch. We have a person in our government that represents the Queen called the, oh, I'm forgetting the name right now. Yeah, so she's definitely the Queen of Canada. We aren't ruled by the monarchy, though. The Queen can't make laws in Canada. But we do have the Governor General. Let's see here. What is the Governor General of Canada? So the Governor General is the representative of the Queen in Canada. So we do have someone in our government. They don't really have any power, though, either. It's all kind of for show. Let's see here. Next question from Orzio. Hello, Bob. Can I say to kids, if you lose the game, you'll get a punishment? Like, if you lose, you'll have to do 10 squats. Well, it's not the best thing to do. We have a cat coming here. I can't zoom in any further. This cat, I think it might be a different cat, actually. It just jumped across a puddle. It's hiding behind the tree. It must know that the camera is on. Oh, there it is. It's probably out having a look. Sometimes when it snows, the cats come out to look for mice sometimes. Yes, you can say that it's grammatically correct, but I don't recommend that as a way to motivate kids or students, okay? I would say try to make the activity fun and interesting and avoid making students or kids do push-ups or anything as punishment. Usually it's just a bad thing, not a good thing to do. Let's see here. Alejandro, hi, bro. Which of all of your videos do you recommend to learn/study about work in remote mode, customer support services, construction? Thank you. Greetings from Mexico. I haven't really done a lesson yet on working remotely. Maybe I should do a lesson like that at some point where I go over some words and phrases for that. But I will put that on my list of ideas, Alejandro, and see if I can come up with something. Let's see here. Let me see. Victor says, hello, how to improve speaking English? Maybe you can give us some resources where we can do it. So if you want to learn English for free, I would say do this. Read the news every day in your own language and read it again in English. Watch the news in your own language and watch it again on YouTube in English. Watch a few people on YouTube. Don't just watch my channel. Listen to a lot of English music. Do reading at a level where it's slightly challenging. And then I highly recommend you hire someone using a website like Preply. There is a link below. Or iTalki or Cambly. Hire someone who you can meet once a week for 30 minutes or an hour to practice your English conversation. That's what I would say. Tofik, how to teach verbs practically in the classroom. So there's two parts to teaching a verb in the classroom. One is the structure of using it, which can be as simple as learning the conjugation. And you can do that by writing it out hundreds of times. It's boring, but it can help you. But more importantly, you need to show the verb to students in stories and in music, in songs and in audio. They need to hear sentences with those verbs being used. And then they need to be doing a bit of writing and speaking where they need to use those verbs correctly. So it's, simply having students memorize how to conjugate a verb does not help you remember it. It gives you a little bit of knowledge, but then seeing the verbs used and then being asked to use the verbs can really, really help. Very, very helpful. Let's see. Andrea says, is the possessive mode with an apostrophe S at the end of the word mandatory, or can we express possessive with of? For example, the teacher's pen or the pen of the teacher. You can use both. The first one is probably used 99% of the time, okay? You could say, I watched Bob's live stream, or you could say, I watched the live stream of Bob. The second one is very formal and rigid and doesn't sound good. This is Bob's cup. I could say this is the cup of Bob, but it sounds too formal. So the first one isn't required, but it is the most common way to use it. Let's see here from Rosa. One question, did Rod teach you any word in Portuguese? If yes, what? Thank you. Have a wonderful 2022. So Rod and I haven't talked for a bit, but we have talked quite a bit. And he did try at one point to teach me a few words, and they have now fallen out of my brain and I don't remember them anymore. So maybe in the new year, Rod and I can get together and he can teach me a few words in Brazilian Portuguese. That would be very, very fun. But my brain is like a sieve. Yes. And it goes to prove again, if you learn something and don't use it, you forget it very, very quickly. That is something that can happen quite often. Hey folks, something strange has happened. I have answered all the questions. This normally doesn't happen, but what I will tell you is normal for this time of year is usually the closer we get to Christmas, there's usually a few less people watching the live lessons. I think because in countries where Christmas is celebrated, people start to be more social. They do a lot of shopping. They don't always have time to learn English. When I look at my views every year, from right around the middle of December until January 1st, less people spend time learning English. Totally understandable, totally cool. But at this point in time, it has resulted in all of the questions having been answered. This rarely ever happens. Let me see. Maybe there's one more in the queue. There's not. I'm in shock. We have 10 minutes left and all the questions have been answered. Why don't I go? I'll leave it on this screen and I'll just kind of look through the chat for a sec and talk to a few people there and we'll wrap this up. This is the cup of Bob. The cup of Bob. Yeah. Bob's cup would be a more accurate way to describe that. Norma says to Julia that she loves cats. Very cool. Fiend says, I have a question. Can I sometimes speak with you that I can practice my English? Is it possible? No. So I still teach high school. I'm not full-time, but 80% of my time I spend teaching high school. So I don't have time and I haven't explored teaching people one-on-one online. So maybe someday in the future, I might do that, but at this point, no. Let's see here. Let's see. Hello, sir. So it says, hello, sir. If I will spend 5 hours listening and practice speaking my own self and read newspaper, then how much time to get comfortable and confident in English? About a year. If you spent 6 hours a week practicing your reading, writing, listening, and speaking, in a year, you will make a lot of progress. If you stick to that plan, you will definitely do well. Let's see here. Nikolai. I have to look this word up, Nikolai, before I put it on the screen because I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's put it on the screen. Nikolai says, can you pronounce this word? And I can't. I think it means hello. Let me see if I can get an example of how to pronounce it. Здравствуйте. Hopefully that's about as close as I'm going to get. Oh, looks like something weird happened. Let's go. I've lost my question form. Oh, I see what I did. My bad. There we go. Okay, I think I should wrap this lesson up. I think we should just say that it is time for this one to be over. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. As you can see, the weather outside is going to make it a little difficult to work outside today, but I still might go outside and do a bit of work. I do want to thank all of you for hanging out and watching. Remember, there will be a video Tuesday. There will be one more live lesson next Friday, and then live lessons will be kind of on hold for a week or two. Thanks to Todd and Dave for hanging out. Thanks to the 329 people watching. If you're new here, again, remember, please click that subscribe button. And for all of you, have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. As some of you get busy during the Christmas season and with New Year's approaching, have a good time. Take a break. I'll see you obviously in the new year when you have time to learn English again. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. See you later.